So much of how we talk about the NFL and their contracts, Michael, which is such a big offseason topic, and it will be for years and years to come. But so much of it is based around their name value, where they came into the league, and where they were drafted, right? Well, we want to eliminate some of those outside factors with a little blind resume conversation here, specifically looking at some quarterbacks that have been hot trigger names in the league. Are you ready, Michael? Are you ready for the? Because my rundown has the names, yours doesn't, and I'm very excited to see how we do this. So blind matchup number one.
Let's see what
we're looking at numbers from last year. Both players started 16 games last year. One with 4,100 yards, another with around 4,300. That first quarterback had 21 touchdowns. The second, 31. QB1 had 14 picks. The second quarterback had 11. The first quarterback's QBR, 56.1. The second, 72.8. So the second quarterback here, numbers across the board, significantly better. Do you know?
And can't get any love. He can't get any love from anybody. Those are Brock Purdy's numbers, 31 and 11. The other guy's Trevor Lawrence, and I love Trevor Lawrence. But Trevor Lawrence, you can't get any love out of Trevor. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is like, he's going to make 55, and he turns the ball over too much. The number, Elliott didn't put this on there, is where Brock Purdy is average per attempt. Yeah. I mean, remember, most of the year, Purdy was close to almost 10 yards per attempt passing, if you remember correctly. Whereas my man Trevor Lawrence, he's never gotten to over 7.1. That's the best he's ever been. Brock Purdy was at 9.9 yards per attempt. It's unheard of. Mm-hmm. It's unheard of. If you go through it, there's nobody, he led it. The next closest guy, Stormy, take a guess who the next closest guy is.
What do we got?
C.J. Stroud at 8.7.
Yeah.
Think about this. The ball's going down the field. Lamar was at 8.4. Tua was only at 8.2, and he's got a track team playing for him.
Well, that's why I go back to, I laugh so much that, yes, he has weapons around him, obviously. But the game manager system quarterback thing to me doesn't get you to lead the league in yards per attempt, doesn't get you to lead the league in air yards per attempt, doesn't get you to lead the league in passer rating. It's not sheer luck, right? Like, these things come because the kid is talented and he knows how to work with all of those pieces around him. Also, by the way, I found this interesting too with Brock Purdy. 8 of those 11 interceptions that he had came in 3 games. So for him, when it rained, it poured, right? He throws 1 interception a game, he would throw a couple. 2 of those games, he was concussed. That's exactly.
That's right. That's exactly right.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, 2 of those games, he was freaking concussed. So keep that in mind as well. But Trevor Lawrence,
how is he not like a spokesman for somebody? The kid's overcome. I've got on Friday on my day off, I'm going to talk to a gentleman by the name of Rory Sutherland. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's a vice chair for Ogilvy. He's written a lot of wonderful books. The Alchemist is one of them. And he's a behavioral scientist by trade, but he's in the advertising industry. And I approached him about talking about how the NFL draft is really a behavioral science event, not an evaluation event. Because when Brock Purdy goes the last pick in the draft and puts up these numbers, like, what is going on here? And I think you got to try to dig deeper into learning about it.
Well, and that's where I was going to go, Michael, because you have Trevor Lawrence, who is, considered a generational talent out of Clemson for all that he accomplished in college, a top pick. And he's given
by me, I was one of those people on that bandwagon, Stormy. Indict me on that. Charge me with that crime. I was there too.
I'm just saying, pushing it forward to the NFL, like, he's given the benefit of the doubt every single corner and everything that he does. Meanwhile, Brock Purdy, because of where he was drafted and because of where he went to college, he's not given that same look and that same love. Trevor Lawrence, by the way, we show the 14 interceptions. He also had a league-high 21 total turnovers because he had 7 lost fumbles as well. But okay, we've gone too long on the one. You nailed it. You knew who they were right away. Let's put up blind resume number 2 with these quarterbacks. Both of them last year starting 17 games. QB1, 4,624 yards. QB2, 4,159. Touchdowns for QB1, 29. For QB2, 32. Interceptions, 14 for QB1, 11 for QB2. Passer rating for QB1, 60.8, 62.1 QBR for quarterback number 2. Do you know who either one of these quarterbacks are?
Well, the 46-24 number is Tua because he led the league in passing with that number.
Well done.
So pass yards, I think that one is Tua. The 41-59 is Stroud because he got over 4,000 yards. So those are my two guesses.
It's actually Jordan Love for QB2. 32 touchdowns, 11 picks, 4,159 yards.
Yes. What did Stroud get? He got 41.08. That's what he got. 41.08. Okay, so I missed that one, but it was Tua.
Okay,
close. You got me. All
very
right,
close.
good.
Yeah, you nailed
But
Tua.
look.
I think those numbers go across your head in your sleep every night before you go to bed. Tua is just haunting you at night.
Well, I mean, the fact he threw 14 picks, though, when you think about it, he threw 14 picks, which is for a guy who's pretty careful with the football. But look, he's got great play. Look, I think to me, my whole thing with Tua is I don't hate Tua. I think Tua's a byproduct of the system. And if you're going to play in cold weather, good luck. Good luck with that. Now, Jordan Love, we had Simon on yesterday. He's not buying the carryover. I think maybe he has a point. I am, but he's not. So that's what makes the world go round. But Love was very good.
Yeah. Brian Gutekunst saying on 97.3 The Game yesterday that he'd like to get an extension done for Jordan Love before training camp. And I just think it's interesting because we know that Tua is about to get paid. What does Jordan Love ultimately command with his extension? Let's do a wide receiver comparison here. Blind matchup number 3. One of these two receivers has played 66 games in their career, 5,145 receiving yards, 32 touchdowns on 395 receptions, a 3-time Pro Bowler, 1-time first-team All-Pro, and 1-time second-team All-Pro. Wide receiver number 2, 6 fewer games played, around 700 more yards receiving, 30 receiving touchdowns on 392 receptions, so similar in that wheelhouse. An Offensive Player of the Year honor, 3-time Pro Bowler, 1-time first-team All-Pro, 2-time second-team All-Pro.
One of the guys is Jamar Chase. I think that's 20. It's the 60-game starter, right? I think Chase is one of those guys. And since we're in the thing, I'm going to guess Brandon Ayuk on the other guy just because I know I could. When you read it, I think you read it with love more than anything.
So, Michael, I think that when you said Jamar Chase, you might have meant Justin Jefferson. But that's who we had. We had Justin Jefferson here and CeeDee Lamb. Their numbers are so similar in certain areas.
They are so similar. Yeah, they are.
But the thing that stands out to me more than anything else.
I did a graphic of it.
Yeah.
I did a graphic of it for yesterday's show. I compared the two of them together, and there it is right there. And, it's really kind of one guy. No, I did Hill with Jefferson. That's who I did. I didn't do CeeDee Lamb. But, look, the numbers are right there. They're exactly going to be the same. And I think at the end of the day, CeeDee Lamb has a strong case. The negotiation for Lamb and the negotiation based on Jefferson is really going to come down to this whole notion of how do we value the new money and how do we value the last contract. Because I don't think Jerry's going to have a problem giving him the Jefferson contract at 30. It's slightly less than 32. But if he wants 35 hard, which Jefferson doesn't have 35 hard. He has 35 hard in new money, but you have to count the 5th year. You just can't throw that away.
Although people love to do that on Twitter, don't you know? But the thing here that stood out to me most about the difference between CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson was the receiving yards in the 6 fewer games. That he has nearly 700 more yards in 6 fewer games. I know last year CeeDee Lamb had an unbelievable year, but if Justin Jefferson was on the field for the entire year, who knows what he would have put up as well.
Yeah, well, I think that's why I thought it was because to me, Chase has missed some time. Even though he started 16 games last year, he missed one game. I kind of thought it was Chase was going to be in there because he's so dynamic. And
the Ayuk and Chase numbers from last year are eerily similar as well.